That's why we're inside for our In the Garden segment, because you know what, Paul? It's just way too hot to be outside gardening.
Even for me.
Yeah, even for you. When I know that you're inside and don't want to get outside, then I know it's way too hot to get out there and garden. So if we're going to be inside, we're in the house, we might as well think about some plants that really work well inside.
Yeah, take the garden inside. Why not? House plants are a wonderful way to kind of dress up the house. They help clear the air, purify the air a little bit, and they're just great to have around. Now, what I brought were, these are really kind of like as foolproof as it gets, okay? Which is not to say that you couldn't kill them, but most people, sorry. First up, the succulents, the cacti and the succulents. The biggest mistake people make with these, as well as with virtually all houseplants, is they overwater. So you don't need to water these very much. They're accustomed to dry conditions, fairly bright light, but they overwinter well too. So focus on the cacti and the succulents. There's so many great ones out there. Now, beyond that, we move into the tropical stuff. This is a philodendron. This will almost thrive in a closet if you open the door a couple of times a day just to give it some light. Unbelievably easy to grow, vining plant, so you might want to give it some support, but holy cow, you could not kill this plant unless you just stepped on it.
That sounds like one of the greatest things. And then even if you step on it, it has a 50-50 chance of living up to that, right? All right, what do we have here?
Chinese evergreen. Again, low light, really does not need much care at all. With all these houseplants, you do want to water now and then. Again, don't overwater, miss them a little bit, but the Chinese evergreen it's a very attractive plant and does really well in an indoor environment.
Yeah, speaking of an attractive plant, this is kind of an interesting plant and attractive as well.
It is. You have a lot of these out in front in your lobby area.
I sure do.
This is a Sansevieria, the snake plant. These, so easy to grow. I mean, about as easy as it gets, really close to it. And they send off these little shoots, these little pups, so they will continue to produce new plants and you can repot those.
And then we have this one, a little bit taller.
Well, this one's fun to say. Zamioculus zamifolia, but
I'm glad you said it.
Thankfully, we call it the ZZ plant. Again, low light, doesn't mind being pot bound, easy, easy, easy to grow. One of my absolute favorites. It's got these beautiful glossy leaves and this upright form. I love this.
Yeah, we have a couple of them left, and this one obviously is a little bit bigger pot, but this looks like something I'm used to seeing.
Good old pothos ivy. Hard to beat. A little more light perhaps, but it'll tell you when it needs more light and you can just move it around, which is really one of the best ways to determine how much light they need. Let the plant tell you. You know, if it's starting to look a little peaked, then give it a little more light, or if maybe it's getting too much light and you need to move it into some shade. Easy, easy to grow in a beautiful chartreuse color.
This is the final one we have. What are we looking at here?
That's a Dracaena. There are a lot of different Dracaenas out there. Kind of a slow grower, but this has this variegated leaf form that I think is gorgeous.
Yeah, all these are great. And again, if we don't have to be outside because it's so darn hot, we want to stay inside, this is an easy way to do that.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, you got some great ideas there. And again, we have great ideas in our In the Garden segment. You can find all of our previous segments online, KJRH.com. Libby?